Hey everyone, Dev here, and today I've got three more bowler videos. I think we're up to episode 5 now. But before I do, I just want to say thank you very much for all the support that I've been getting from you guys. It means a lot to me, especially from those who know me or know of me and bump into me every so often in my other life. It's really appreciated, so keep jamming that like button, keep hitting that subscribe button, and keep spreading the word. I mean, yeah, there's a few trolls out there and a few dickheads, but you get that in life, and the support you guys have given me has just kept encouraging me. So, thanks very much. I hope to keep providing you with as much useful information and tactics and all sorts of methods as possible. On that note, let's get into it. So, as you probably noticed, I've made my way up into champs, and I'm going to show you a couple of attacks from bowlers which have been quite profitable. The background to this, of course, is that there is a giant event on, and the giant event basically gives me cheaper giants. So doesn't really mean much to me, except I get a little bit more pink out of these raids, because I normally take 10 anyway. So thanks for the free gems. Right, this base here. This is a modification on a very common base type you might see at Town Hall 10, where you've got sort of these little pods up here, a semi well protected top part, more pods around this side, a core, and usually this type of base you see this part here down here opened up with the walls. But the part that I'm interested in with the bowlers is really this sort of top half here. Now, as you know, I like to clear out a side, typically with the queen, and the other side typically with giants and wizards, and then try to drive my bowlers under a under rage, and of course with a golem and a picker to clear out the core. Difference with this one, of course, is now I have a warden who's got an ability, so I'll show you that in action as well. So starting off, we've got the queen and the healers, and my intention is to take out as many of these parts as possible, and of course the giants and the wizards take out this. It's important to clear out two sides so that the bowlers stay on target. Alright, so now down with the jump. First point of note, point of interest to note, this inferno is on single, and a single inferno, if left unchecked, will wreck this type of attack. However, because I've got so many giants going in, I can only pick off one at a time, it's actually not going to do too much. Okay, sending in the CC golem and the picker, and another giant for good measure. And you can see I've now got a very good path. Now the wardens come down. The warden, it's important that he stays with that pack of bowlers particularly, because they are quite fragile. That radius you can see around him is his life aura. He's essentially giving my units about 24% more hit points right now. So my big heavy hitters jump in and smash that inferno. I freeze the back one as per usual. Bowlers are in there with their rage doing their thing. Note, I've got another jump spell down, and I haven't used my eternal tome on my warden yet. What I like to do is get maximum value out of it. So I've just popped it there. Now what I mean by getting maximum value is the ability will make all of the units in that radius invulnerable for about 3.5 seconds. Now what I like to do is pop the king's ability. As you can see, I've done that with as many barbarians as possible. So just a little thing there, getting extra value by making sure those barbarians are invulnerable for a little bit of time. In this particular attack, it's worked quite well. They weren't under any real sort of splash damage, so it would have been okay if I just missed that. But that's something I look to do just for a little bit of extra value, I suppose. Now the queen's doing her thing. Alright, the healer is about to peel off and start healing up my golem, which is ever so useful. Alright, but over here you can see that this golem up here, he's chucking rocks. He's still hitting 2 targets at once. He's got a bit of range on him. And this pod down here has been cleared out by the rest. So all in all, as you'd expect, a Town Hall 11 with max bowlers should be able to roll a mid-level Town Hall 10 like this. And yep, all that's left to say really is tata tatane. Thanks very much for the loot. Remember, of course, in champs that the loot bonus is 200,000 gold, 200,000 pink, and 1,000 400 dark. So on top of those numbers, I've actually had a pretty good day out there. The other raids that I had previously, this one here against Amelia 69. We take a look at this. This is a rushed Town Hall 11. I say it's rushed because he's got a max Inferno, he's got a level 2 Inferno, he's got himself a level 1 Eagle Artillery, but all the other defences around him, particularly the Expos, are a dead giveaway. He's got one up at level 3, he's got some level 2s, okay, so all in all, this guy is pretty rushed, not quite sure where he's at. He isn't even in a clan, so I know that the CC troops aren't going to come rushing out. Now the thing with this one is I've got an Eagle Artillery that is buried quite deep, and in order to get to this, I'm going to have to make a choice. Do I rush everything in, or do I take my time and get my Queen to chip away and Wizards to chip away? Bearing in mind, of course, that I did do a video regarding the amount of troops it takes to trigger an Eagle Artillery. So obviously I've gone for the latter option, and I've started off with my Queen down here. And the good thing about the Queen here and the Wizards here is I've actually taken out one of the Dark Elixir collected drills and the other one up top. Now take a look, I've just hit 2,264. So in my mind, I've already made profit here. So even if this attack does go belly up, I can at least walk away knowing I didn't waste my Dark. Gold and pink, yeah, okay, you do want to make back on pink, but at this stage I wasn't really concerned. So I know from here on out, no matter what I've done, I've actually profited. So the Queen's done a good job, and the Wizards and Giants done a good job in clearing out that little corner. And now the Queen hasn't used the ability yet, but oh no, sorry, I have used the ability. Alright, so at this stage I got to thinking, right, well, as soon as that Giant goes down, I've got essentially 1, 2 Expos and a cannon on the Queen. Without the ability, that's a little too much heat for them to take. So what I'm going to look to do is drive my crew in through this side. As you can see where I put the jump, the Queen's about to go down, in the hopes that once the Queen is finished, the healers will turn, as they have, onto the King and the P.E.K.K.A. and everything else, which is very useful because the Eagle Artillery has just opened up. So the Eagle Artillery, I don't know if you caught that, didn't actually do anything except maybe kill one Giant and hurt my P.E.K.K.A. a tiny bit. Alright, now we're in the firing line of this Inferno on max, so the play is going to be to freeze that one. Ordinarily I'd say freeze the back one, but I'm pretty confident that once I've got that first one out of the way, I can pop the Eternal Tome as I have just there, and there we go, the second Inferno goes down. Note the healers are still in the core, very useful for them, so my quick thinking there was quite good. The healers did end up following the meat essentially after the Queen went down. Right, the rest of this particular attack is very much cleanup, so I'm just going to speed it up for you. Note the range on that Grand Warden. Now it seems the Grand Warden likes to attack not the closest building, but whatever building the unit with the most hit points is going for, which is why you'll often see a Grand Warden attacking a building, then turning and attacking a wall, then turning and attacking another building. Alright, so it seems to follow where the unit with the most hit points is going. In this case, the King or the P.E.K.K.A. or the Golems. So that's a little thing to keep in mind if you ever get to be experimenting with the Grand Warden. Now, unfortunately for me, this attack is only going to be 99%. Luckily not a war attack, because I didn't account for the barracks up on the corner. But no big deal. You can see again, with my loot bonus, I've walked away pretty rich after that particular raid. Right, now the last one for today, thanks Big Daddy for the Giant, is from Oracle. Okay, obvious, pun is obvious. Oracle clearly didn't see me coming because I'm about to ruin his day. In this particular case, the Eagle Artillery has been buried even further down. Alright, and it's one of these bases with these sort of funny looking honeycomb pod circle type deals. This was a really big base design about a year and a half ago for Town Hall 9. But as soon as jump spells came along, it didn't really survive. And this person, again, yes, they are quite rushed as well. You're about to see why this design doesn't really work. So my goal will be to come in with the Queen walk from this side here. noting that this dark storage is right there. Again, like similar thoughts to the last video, if my queen can pick up that dark elixir, then I know I've done enough to basically secure some profit. And a jump spell here is going to access this middle compartment, and it's going to access the compartment here with the Eagle Artillery. So I have to be quite frugal with my wizards and giants here, because I want the Eagle Artillery to activate as late as possible. So the queen starts off and turns onto the king, which is fantastic, and then some giants and some wizards to just clear out those buildings that are going to try and draw off my bowlers. So only 2 wall breakers required there on those skull walls. Alright, and the wizards have even done a really good thing and started to take out some of those buildings that have gone even deeper. The queen, in the meantime, is doing her job, and I've just delayed dropping the golem and the P.E.K.K.A. and everything else a little bit to see where the queen is going. Now the queen has turned onto the dark elixir storage, so I know, look at my numbers right now, I've got 3,151 dark, so I'm already in a good space to just basically go all out in this attack. So I've just got to wait for the queen to take out that archer tower. There we go, and should be any second now with the rest of the main crew. Oh no, okay, don't even know my own videos. There's my jump spell, and there we go, there's the rest of the crew. Now the Eagle Artillery just starting to open up now, and we should get a good view. Goes for the golem first. Didn't really do much there, did it? Alright, so you can get a couple of good, a couple of shots off with that and still be okay. Slightly missed on that free spell, looking to get that Inferno as well, but it's a level 1 and it's on multi. Not going to do anything really. Anyway, back to the Eagle Artillery. If you've got a golem and a king, say, all by themselves, the Eagle Artillery isn't going to do much to them, but it will wreck your bowlers and other squishy sort of units, so please be very careful on that. Okay, freezing, everyone jumping in, there's rage there's another jump to access the next pod. Alright, coming through, Barbarian King ability about to go off any time now. Yep, there we go, and then the Eternal Tome, rushing that last Inferno, still got plenty of bowlers chucking rocks over walls and smashing things up, which is great, and the Queen is still alive. And nothing in the CC over there, so all that's left now is, of course, the cleanup. So there we go. 3 raids here, 2 against Town Hall 11 and 1 against the Town Hall 10. Realised that it's been boulder heavy in my videos of late, apart from that balloon video and a couple of Valks that I had last war. The war that we're currently involved in is against an engineered Chinese clan, and I hope to have some videos up regarding some of the lower Town Hall 9 and 10 stuff with that shortly. Alright, so once again, thanks for watching, thanks for the support, and don't forget, give us a thumbs up, and please, if you're going to write a comment, be sensible, because if you're going to be a dickhead, I'll just delete it. Alright, cheers, Dev out.